Jeez, that looks good. What is up? All right. So the first thing we got to do is we got to pull these out. So let's grab some tools, and we got to get. So I have the little covers, but I got to get these bezels out first. So we got to get a little screwdriver in here, pop these little tabs out. So this is going to be super careful with because this is all plastic. Now once you get the tube popped out of the top, it's going to want to stop moving. I just kind of put the screwdriver in there, or you can't really reach underneath. So I just kind of slowly start working the bottom out too. See there you go. That'll get that side. You can start working the bezels out. The instructions on the PDF of Oracle just tell you to pull it out, but I don't know. If you're like me, you're pretty if you're literal like me, I should say, you need a little bit more explanation about how to do it correctly. So unfortunately, you gotta just do it yourself and learn. So I just start working around here, little tiny, there we go, little tiny movements, and then you'll get it out, no problem. And we'll get the other side out, same thing. All right, so I got that one out, same deal, just as easy. And then as you can tell, traps tons of dirt in there. So take the time and I'll clean all that while we have the opportunity. The next step is we're going to pull our housings out. So we just got to disconnect our bulbs, pull that out, and then you're going to have one here, and then one down there. And then I got those out, and then you're just gonna, those pull out nice and easy. So there you go. Your one's out already, and clean them up, get them off to the side, and same with this one. Okay, so one thing I noticed is that this isn't going to get soft like you think it will. It's still pretty hard. I guess that's why they say you can also use a Dremel. I'm a little scared to use a Dremel just because I feel like you're going to cut right into the light, and the lens and the plastic meet right here. So I basically just started scoring, and you'll end up, it just kind of gets soft enough to where you could cut through it. And don't worry, I got my cut resistant ANSI A3 gloves, and they're abrasion level 3. Now all this is really doing is just softening the plastic and the adhesion. Hear that? I don't know if you can hear it, but it's starting to cut in. And you can see I got just a little bit of the knife in, and you can kind of hear it wanting to separate. And I'm just riding along this edge because this part's flat right in here. So, and this just butts up to here on a 90 degree. The lens does. So you can literally just try to start cutting right along there. Hopefully you'll be able to see it on camera. But you just want to just keep working around the lens. So, oh, hear it opening. I think the main thing is, like, definitely the corners here. Definitely work these corners, because say you get it open here and the corner you didn't get all the way, it'll crack. It'll crack there, right where the corner is. Trust me. Ask me how I know. Starting to pull apart. So that was my whole thing, was like, when I was doing this, I was like, oh, this rubber is going to get super soft and you can just peel it apart. But, dude, it is not the case. Like, what you think it should be able to do and what ends up happening are two totally different things. So yeah, don't worry about, you know what I mean, you're gonna have to sit here for a little bit and get some patience. Keep working around the lens, do a nice easy cut to just kind of get your groove, and then just go a little bit deeper, maybe another pass. Start working the razor in on the corners, get the corners start to open up, and bam, dude, there you go. Look at that, perfect. And nothing's cracked, and it's separated nice and easy. Okay, so now that these are open, the next thing you have to do is, before you put the ring in, is we gotta drill 2 holes right here in the corner. Now all 4 are the same, they all come off on the right side, which means they all gotta get drilled on the right side. My thing is, I thought maybe, you know, they had to come in and be close, but they don't, because your harnesses are super long, so it doesn't matter. Just every one is gonna go on the right with that. So I just got a drill bit just big enough to, just bigger than the actual connector there, and we're gonna drill this out. Go. So now that the hole is drilled, we can take a ring and feed it right through there, just big enough to get the connector through, and feed it, and then we're ready to line up our ring. We'll peel the tape off and then we'll set it. So obviously we want this to overhang the top so it's not making the ring stick off. It just stinks because it's so tight. So you could bend it, it'll kind of lay up there. And then I just make sure the tops are even. It's not gonna be, it doesn't roll with this evenly. It's a little bit off just by the way that's manufactured and this is. So I just try to get the tops even. And just make sure it's touching, because you see it comes down here, just make sure it's touching all parts of the, not glass, plastic. And there we go. They just want you to kind of hold the ring in place. Can't go any lower because it would be falling off the bottom here. And sticking pretty good. They use 3M, so 3M works really good. And there you go. rings in place. We're going to silicone that hole on both sides. So I'm going to put a little bit here. And then we'll put some on the outside as well. All the way on the line. So I'm using RTV silicone. We use this, outside for work all the time. It's good for metal, glass, silicone, resin, rubber, synthetics, plastic surfaces, and it's good from negative 76 to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And this is just clear. The white would look too weird, and it's good stuff. Use it at work all the time, and it'll be plenty for what we have. And then the only other thing we're gonna do is do our new trim, new silicone around here, and then put the lens back on, and then it's gonna go back in the car. Laying dimes, silicone. I like to consider myself a professional silicone welder. Okay, that's plenty. It's more than enough. Okay. And also, always use the same ring, because you saw there was just a little tiny chip that chipped off right here, just a little tiny bit. If you use the same lens with the same housing, everything will lay perfectly back together. I didn't even want to scratch any of that off. Oop. Put it up here. Okay. And we'll get everything going. Looking good. One slid in, no problem. And get this one in. Feed the wire. That through. And then no problem, you'll see this is here up in the corner. That'll go in, no problem. Good. It's hard to do everything one-handed. And pull a little bit of slack. So now you got your two harness tails in, and now we're going to get the Oracle rest of the harness and the I guess I call it a driver, and we'll get that wired up and we'll be done. Okay, so the harnesses are on, and then all you have to do is take your two connectors on your driver's side, and you're gonna go black and purple on your driver's side. You're gonna put your two connectors on here, and then you're gonna use these ends, and you're gonna put your two blacks together, your two reds together, and then it's going to be blacks to black and reds to purple on your driver's side, and on your passenger side it's going to be blacks to black and reds to brown on that side. And it doesn't matter which socket, because they both get the same power from the harness, so it doesn't matter. They both blink the same, they both break the same, so it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to finish up this wiring, and we should be done. Alright, let's see what they look like. Alright, now real quick, I want to go over something that nobody else has really touched on. I know they say it in the instructions, but nobody's actually like made a video that I've found that will show you the little bulb trick. Now, you guys saw what it looked like. I'll show a side by side in a second, but you have an option to run it with the high intensity bulb, which is the upper bulb, and is the outside. So it would be these. It would be the outside prongs. This one out here and that one out here would be the high intensities, meaning your brake light, and the middle ones are your low intensity, which would be your running lights, your daytime running lights, or as you're driving, your driving lights. Now, if you get rid of one of these middle ones, if you get rid of one of these middle ones here, let me just try to point to make it a little bit easier. If you get rid of one of these middle ones here, you'll end up with this. So now this, you see how it's still got the red here, and you have your Oracle afterburner, and then it has the red here. Now you go to this side, so much cleaner. This is not lit, this is illuminated, and that's it. It looks so much better, so much cleaner. I feel like that takes away from the look of your Oracle. Now, I'll hit it again. That's going to be your brake. So when you hit the brakes, that's what you got. And as you're driving, that's what you got. That's with the bulb mod. With the normal, you get your driving light up here and your Oracle. And then I'll show you, if you hit the brake, it just gets a little bit brighter. I feel like this washes out the effect of the Oracle. So for me, I'm gonna go with this. So let me change the other two. I just wanted to show everybody real quick. Nobody's really done a video. I just want to show like a before and after, because I feel like that's a cool little trick that they say in the instructions, but you don't ever really get to see what it really looks like. And I'm also repainting my rings because they were getting a little faded, so put them back in too. Okay, let's hit it one more time and we'll see the full effect. Ooh, man, it looks so crisp and clean. Oh, looks gonna look so good cruising. Oh, looks so good, dude. Matches the side one. Oh, so worth the money, worth the effort, worth the money. Something that you will not be able to get that's plug and play. A little bit of hard work.